Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It is time for another episode of the Daily Leeds. And unlike yesterday's, it's jam-packed. This seems to happen quite often, but we've got a lot of transfer news in today's episode. Check out this new T-shirt I've got as well from the Leeds Vikings. Make sure you check out their clobber. We'll get onto them a little bit later on anyway, guys. But before we do get into the video, as always, smash a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel, comment, and of course, get that notification bell smashed and enjoy the video. So, guys, we're going to start, first of all, with Gianni Alioski. Of course, on the 1st of July, he becomes a free agent. He's no longer a Leeds player. He hasn't signed a new agreement. He's gone to the Euros. There was talk of him moving to Turkey, to their club. I mean, Turkey still could end up being his destination, guys, if I'm being totally honest. But it looks to me like Alioski's putting himself in the shop window. He's looking for that big move. He's looking for that big payoff, a nice 3-4 year contract maybe on big wages before he retires. You know, he's getting to that type of age. Does he want to play regular first-team football? These are all things you've got to think about because it's evident with our left-back chase, Gianni Alioski is not going to be a first-teamer next season. He could well start the season and may get better and better and better, like we've seen with Stuart Dallas, etc. But is that a risk he wants to take if someone's offering him a big deal? And I'm okay with him. If look, we'll speak about the deal and I'll give my thoughts on it. So we heard yesterday that Fenerbahce have added Alioski to their lists as potential targets, you know. So Fenerbahce have been linked. We're also hearing that CSKA Moscow have emerged as biggest challengers to Leeds over Alioski's signature. And the Turkish outlet that's reporting the Fenerbahce and Moscow links have said that Alioski has been offered €2.5 million a year, which equates to around about 40k a week, to sign on a free transfer. The decision from the player will be made after North Macedonia's involvement at Euro 2020. And we know they're no longer making it through the group stage. They've lost both their games. They've got one more game to play. Probably Alioski goes on holiday and then a decision will be made. But reports in Turkey are saying that it's Fenerbahce, it's CSKA Moscow, and he's been offered 40k a week. I think that's too much. This is just my own personal opinion. I rate Alioski. I think he's a good squad player, but I also think 40k a week's too much. It's too much for his services. Just my opinion. I've seen people on Twitter say that's the going rate for the Premier League. Yeah, okay, I agree with that as well, but I don't think it's what we want to be shelving out on a player that might not get much game time. Yes, he's well versed in Bielsa's methods, and that's another reason why you might want to keep him. But from Alioski's standpoint, if he goes to a CSKA Moscow, a Fenerbahce, who are willing to offer him 40k a year, what's he going to want? Maybe 3 or 4 year deal? Are Leeds going to give him that? Probably not. I don't think they'll meet the 40k. I don't think they'll give him anything longer than a 2-year deal. He's coming towards the back end of his career. For me, shake hands, he goes, you know, especially if he doesn't go to that team, you know, then we're okay. Go to Fenerbahce, I'm okay with that. Go to Fenerbahce. I have no impact on where he goes anyway, but you know what I mean, what people's opinions might be, whether or not where he goes. Anyway, let's not get into that. That's been done to death. But from my side, and I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments as well, 40k is too much for Gianni Alioski's services personally. And if that's what he's been offered, then take it. Because if I'm in his shoes, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Now, of course, it is just paper talk. We don't know if there's any, you know, real substance to it, but I think it's quite key to see that Alioski's not signed a new deal yet. He's been offered a new deal. He's not signed it. What perfect way to put yourself in the shop window than in the Euros and then see what offers are on the table after that. I think he's going to be, there'll be a lot of clubs knocking at his door. He's a free agent. You know, he's one of North Macedonia's best players. He's been playing under Bielsa. You know, that goes a long way as well. Someone takes a chance on him. They're not having to pay a transfer fee. You know, it's a free transfer. So for Fenerbahce, working out 2.5 million euros, you know, what does he equate to? About 7 million over 3 years? It's not that much of an outlay, really. But I think from a Leeds United perspective, you know, we've seen everyone kicking off with the amount of wages Kiko gets, for example. And I know it's nowhere near that, but do you know what I mean? It's a lot of money. And I'd rather us reinvest that elsewhere. And if that means that we give Leif Davies more game time, maybe, then so be it. We know that Stuart Dallas can fill in at left back. And we know we're after a new midfielder. So I just think, for me, 40k is a lot of money a week. And I think if Alioski's been offered that, he's going to be taking that. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments on the Gianni Alioski situation. Some talk from Italy now as well, guys, that apparently Leeds United are after Sampdoria defender Omar Colley. Us and West Ham are apparently competing for his signature. He was considered one of Serie A's most positive revelations last season, playing at centre-back for Sampdoria. For me, it's an ongoer. We've heard Angus, we've heard Orta, we've heard Bielsa. I think majority of the fan base, centre-back area is not a place where Leeds United need to strengthen. It just doesn't need to be done. We, for me, have 4 centre-backs there that will still be here in 2 or 3, 4 seasons. It's an area of the pitch that we don't need to look at. I said it last season and I'll say it again. Centre-backs, we are fine. You know, you've got Virgil van Strauch, who is unbelievable. Robin Koch, Diego Llorente and Liam Cooper, your club captain. All internationals. Virgil van Strauch, Pascal Strauch's being asked for by Belgium and Holland. They've both been looking good in the Euros. They both want him. Do you know what I mean? So this shows the prospects of this lad. We've got Charlie Creswell. We've got El Jedi, the guy from Celtic that we're after. I don't think we need to worry about centre-back. And I believe Omar Colley plays predominantly as a centre-back. So for me, it's a non-mover. West Ham will get that deal done. I think it's just paper guff. The next one, guys, we're going to speak about is, of course, Noa Lang. He's the one that won't go away, obviously. We were linked with him at the early parts of the window. We've been after this kid for a while. Then we hear stuff about his character, and he's saying some unsavoury chants. And we've had a look at what Ten Hag and his time at Ajax and what, the issues he had with his club captain, Dusan Tadic. And there's all that there out in the ether. However, it's the one that won't go away. Obviously, we spoke yesterday and I said he was pictured at Club Bruges doing, his pre-season training, whether or not that had any sort of inclination of where the land lies. But of course, Fabrizio Romano has come out and had his say on the Noa Lang situation. And look, I'm convinced, I've seen a lot of people in my comments say, you need to stop with this Fabrizio Romano stuff. He's not the oracle. He's not that. Listen, he can be trusted. Yeah, he might get a few wrong, but you look at some of the people on Twitter and in the whole, sphere, they get 95% of them wrong. Fabrizio Romano gets 95% of them right. He was speaking on the Here We Go podcast, and he basically said that Leeds United are intensifying talks to sign Club Bruges winger Noa Lang during this window. The Whites are said to really, really want the Dutchman, said Fabrizio Romano. He went on to say he's an interesting player. There are talks ongoing, and they are really, really interested in him. We are working really hard for Noa Lang's signature. And that comes from the Here We Go podcast. So if you have a listen to that, it's a really good podcast. Fabrizio Romano knows his stuff, and that's what he spoke about, Noa Lang and Leeds United, that we're really working hard on that signature. So for me, he's the one. He's the one. We know we have a number of targets. Matheus Cunha, for me, he's second to Noa Lang by the sounds of it. That's the way it looks to me, unless he's looking to bring in Cunha and Noa Lang, because we know either can play anywhere, really. But Noa Lang's predominantly a winger. So I think he's the winger. Maybe Matheus Cunha, a bit like the situation we had with Rafinha. If we can't get Noa Lang, then we go for Cunha. I'm not too sure. Maybe Cuna's not available. I don't know, but it seems to be the one for me at the moment is definitely Noa Lang. I hope that the left back is Javi Galán. We still don't know who that midfielder is. I'd like Mateus Pereira. Some wouldn't, but for me, perfect window will be Javi Galán with a release figure of like 3.5 million. I've seen Noa Lang and Mateus Pereira. That would be an unbelievable window for me. Them three in key positions that we need, and then, flesh out the under-23s. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Noa Lang and on them 3 signatures. Who would you want as your left back, your midfielder, and of course that winger? But it looks to me like the Noa Lang one is the one that we are furthest down the road with at this moment in time, and the one that we are really intensifying talks. I spoke about that midfielder. Nathan Nandez has been brought up again by Gazzetta del Sporto in Italy, and it says Leeds United will insist upon signing Cagliari midfielder Nathan Nandez this summer. I'm not so sure, because we've heard from the Cagliari sporting director and say, look, Leeds United haven't been in touch. And we've heard Byron Cross say before that Leeds have been linked in the past, and it seems to be a non-mover. But over in Italy, they're saying that we're sold on Nafi and Nandez. So maybe he's that midfielder. I'm not so sure, but it's one that keeps coming up. But it's one that was linked last summer. Is it due to the links with Radrizzani, etc.? I'm not sure. But I don't think Nafi and Nandez is the one. But sources in Italy believe it to be so. It could well be. Some other news, guys, now. It looks like the kit that was pictured a couple of weeks back, the SBO top, it is definitely the one now. I don't know where this has been pictured, but we've got two lovely ladies modelling them. They did a number of kits. They were seen modelling the Bayern Munich, a number of kits anyway, but they've been seen wearing the shirts. I don't know where this is from, but it looks like Leeds United's home kit will be this one. Listen, I'll buy it. I always buy them. I'm not a fan of it, though. I just don't like it. It's basically the same kit as last season, but yellow instead of blue. And I don't know. It's not the most attractive, if I'm honest. I prefer last season's with just the blue. It just has a bit of a better pop. But the yellow, I'm not so sure. But I say that, but I will buy it. But yeah, it looks like that's definitely going to be the one. We're still yet to see the third and the away. But I think the away one's the blue with a mad pattern, and the third one's going to be the like UV pinky, or no, sorry, it's purpley, isn't it? It's purpley colour. Just while we're on the subject of shirts as well, I don't know if you've seen on social media, Leeds Vikings have just designed some brand new T-shirts. As I said, they sent me one. They actually dropped it off home delivery from the guys at Timber Wolf Coat and Leeds Vikings. They've combined and put together these awesome shirts. Let me just show you the shirts that are available there. You can get Bielsa, Phillips and Rafinha, and I'm sure more to come. And make sure you check out Leeds Business Timber Wolf Co, because they've got some top clobber as well. I'm going to put both their links in the description. Guys, I'm not getting anything from this. They just sent me a T-shirt. This isn't any sort of promotion. They're just top lads, big Leeds fans. Make sure you help them out, man. If you do like the gear, if you do like the tops, they do tracksuits and all sorts, make sure you check them out. Both links will be in the description. Some other news as well, guys. Leeds United's brand value has now jumped from 20 million to 100 million thanks to promotion. But there is so much more room ahead. If you think about, obviously, COVID and now that's hit and, filling up. But Leeds United have actually jumped into the top 50 most valuable and strongest global football brands. One season in the Premier League, and we've jumped into the top 50. We're actually 40th, ahead of the likes of Benfica, Celtic, Lazio. And that's after one season in the Premier League during a time where COVID has hit. So that's just going to continue to rise and continue to put this football club on the map. Of course, the top 10 didn't really change. You've got Real Madrid, Barcelona, the two Manchester clubs. You've got Liverpool, etc., etc. The big six obviously occupy the top 10 as well in terms of brand valuation. But for Leeds, after one season in the Premier League, I mean, I'm not surprised, but it's nice to see that we've jumped straight in there in 40th, ahead of the likes of Celtic, Lazio, Benfica, as I've just mentioned. That's huge news for the club. And finally, guys, the Leeds Supporters Trust. Obviously, I showed you the picture, the other week of the new Legends Mural. They're going to be doing a lot more. They were on the Phil Hay podcast, great interview they did with Eddie Gray, and they had a little excerpt there where one of the trustees came on and spoke about it and said, look, keep an eye out for updates over the next few weeks. They've got a number of murals still to go up in and around Leeds, which is just brilliant. It is just brilliant. Everything that's going on at this football club, inside it, outside it, through the fans, it's just amazing, isn't it? It's amazing to be a Leeds fan right now, and I'm absolutely living for it. And people hate it. People hate it, but we're back, baby. We're back, and we're not going anywhere. Believe that. Listen, really enjoyed that episode. Hope you did too. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment, and of course get your notification bell on. We're nearly at 4K. Nearly there. Nearly there. We want to get to 5K before the season starts. Enjoy the rest of the video. Enjoy Father's Day, because it is Father's Day today. Yeah. I've got some food and that plan with the kids and the missus, and yeah, it's going to be really good. So all you fathers out there, have a great Father's Day, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.